Over time, in the course of history, we have come to realize music plays a very important role, even before the deities. So, if you go to Idibia, it will run some incantations, for example, in form of songs and praises, right, to move his gods. The same thing for other religions. So, music has so far played a very pivotal role, and all of the entities know this. All of the forces know this, and so they they've weaponized it, so to speak, right? Such that they know that music has this power, this hypnotic power. And that is why the music you learned while you were 3, 4 years old, you can still sing them. If not 100%, but at least, around it or mime or whatever it is called, right? And the good forces know this, and so do the bad forces, all right? So music is a very serious instrument of hypnosis. You should know that. Just want to talk about something. I'm very sure most of us know this music. Anume, nume, nume, Jim. Anume, nume, nume, Jim. I've got the power. And we dance to it just like I did dance. I just danced to it. We're all guilty of it, right? But I thought of it this way, like, since music is this powerful, let's basically look at this particular music, right? But before we delve into it, I want to tell us that the universe is controlled by laws, right? The universe is controlled by laws, and if you contravene any of these laws, there are consequences, right? And let me take, in a summary, I would call them 4 laws. Let's just speak 4 laws. The law of nature, the law of harmony, the law of correspondence, and of course, the law of evolution, right? And each of these laws have postulates, right? Call them branches if you like, right? So for the law of nature, I'm going to pick one postulate because this is how it affects the topic we're discussing. So for the law of nature, it says every manifestation of nature requires a favorable condition. Every manifestation of nature requires a favorable condition. So it means if you indulge in dirty habits, you get infected, right? If you are careless about your hygiene, it simply means you are giving a favorable condition for infections to come in, and so you get infected, right? But if you are hygienic, they won't come in, right? That is the whole idea. The law of harmony, and I read, everything, this is one of the postulates, however, like I said, as it affects the subject in question, which is the music of this guy up there, right? Everything that is sent out acts, reacts, and returns. So if you speak to the universe and you say, I have failed, it goes, it takes everything it has to take, and then comes back and tells you you're a failure, right? Everything you spit out goes, it acts, it reacts, it interferes with all of the elements, and then it comes back to you. And so that is why they tell you, be careful the things you say, because they actually become manifestations. And that is why Napoleon Hill says, everything the mind of a man can think about and believe, that it will achieve. By this, thinking about something is a repetitive action. Keep thinking about it. In the same way, when you're saying something, you're talking something, I can't pass, the exam is hard, it goes and then comes back to you, and then you will never pass that exam, except by special grace of the Almighty, right? And then the law of correspondence, one postulate, however, says every circumstance is generated by oneself. Every circumstance is generated by oneself, right? So the circumstance you are now, saying you don't have a job, probably was generated by you every time you say, my CV is not good enough to give me a job, right? So that is a message that is sent. My CV is not enough to give me a job. My experience is not enough to give me a job. So you sent it out, it goes, it acts, it reacts, and it comes back as you being jobless. No job, right? So the present situation you are projections of what yourself, right? Basically. So looking at these three postulates, let's see how it affects the subject in question, right? So I'm going to allow us listen to this music. You've all heard of it, and then we'll start picking things one by one, right? So I'm going to cut it. Okay, let's just listen to the music. I got the power. I got the power. Citadel, Santos, San Antonio, pandemic, epidemic, pandemonium, catastrophe, cataclysm. I'm a burning fire. I'm a burning fire. Yeah. Okay, so my focus basically are the words of this music. And also, let me also clarify this. When someone wants to hide things from you, in recent times, I've come to realize this. They make it a joke. Now, do not forget, just like God, the good force, sees the future and sort of prepares us for it, so does the bad force sees the future. And so every steps it takes now may not really be now, may come to manifestation in the next 10 years, right? So when someone has nothing to offer you, they come as a joke. So you do not see them, you do not see anything fishy. So it also means when someone comes to you as a joke, be very wary, be careful, because they are hiding a lot within the jokes. And that is why a presidential candidate going all around the country to tell people his agenda, and all we hear are jokes. Bala Blue, Bulaba, Emilio Khan. So we do not see that of a truth that this person may not necessarily have something to offer. And that is why they would joke about things, dance at rallies, can't even make a statement that would, tell us that, okay, this is what I have for you. Fast forward, a year later, this is the country. Dollar now is over 1,000 naira. A bag of rice is now more than minimum wage. You can't even pay. Now everyone is taxed, double taxed, taking loans to enrich themselves. Oh, by the way, have you seen our budget for the year 2024? Right? Over 90 billion for pilgrimage. 90 billion. So it means we'll not get problem now. Now we'll not get problem. Our only problem is religion. We'll not get problem at all. And that is why there are, so because there are no problems, we'll not get where we will put the money. So more just put down for religion. Everybody's okay in the country, we are fine. Now back to the stuff. So like I said, when one don't want you to be suspicious, they come as a joke, right? So having listened to the music, let's look at the caption, like the image you see on the music. You see this image up there. I watch movies a lot, and it shows me, when you watch those World War One, World War Two old movies where America or the British were dropping bombs from their aircraft, or more recently, let's not go too far. Let's look at Kong, Kong Island, featuring Samuel L. Jackson and a whole lot of other guys, right? When you look at Kong Island, what do you see? While they were dropping those bombs, they push them from the aircraft, and then it comes and opens like a capsule with some sort of cubular base. The capsule with a very pointed mouth, and so it comes and then it explodes, right? Basically destroying anything in its parts. So first, that is the way I see this caption. It means destruction, right? Because if this is a missile that is going to penetrate whatever it touches and shatters every matter, first, that is a warning. Now, let's move forward. He said a whole lot of things. Like I said, initially came as a joke, right? In the Boski, Bahose, we all made fun of it. I did too, guilty, right? But fast forward to today. Now, he said he wants to release his powers. Remember, when we started this video, we said, be careful the things you give out, because every word spoken goes out, reacts, acts, and then comes back to you, right? Everything you see, every manifestation today is of your making, right? And things will only happen when they have a favorable condition, right? Okay, good. Now, one of the words there is pandemic. See the definition of pandemic up there? A widespread occurrence of infection and disease affecting a whole lot of people at the same time. Epidemic, an outbreak of disease that spread very quickly. Pandemonium, wow. A state of confusion, disorder, entropy, upheaval, and a whole lot. Cataclysm. When something happens at a very large scale, usually not good things, and then catastrophe. Now, I've listened to this Odumeje pastor for a while, and I know he's not very educated, right? And when you listen to his preachings, if at all he does preach, you will know. Now, this is someone that has transitioned from being a man of God to a comedian, to a singer, now to a celebrity. And now for someone that is not well educated, this is where you should be very surprised, where you should be very cautious. Very, very cautious. And you should have asked yourself a few questions. This guy that is not well educated, how be it so, he was able to put his words together in order. He was very coherent. Strange. He was very coherent. He was deliberate about his choice of words. There were no mistakes. He was deliberate about his choice of words. He was coherent, and then he delivered. As if it's been rehearsed. Of course, music you would rehearse over and over again. So if it were an error, they probably would have taken out something and all that. So when someone says, I'm releasing my powers, and all they are releasing to you, pandemonium, cataclysm, pandemic, epidemic, you should run for your life. You should, and surprisingly, even the media playing this, right? In Nigeria today, look at where we are. And then someone is releasing pandemonium and all this shit right now. And then media houses will play them. But when you watch movies and they call God, Jesus, they censor them. Please, dot the I's and cross the T's. Odumeje didn't make a mistake. He was deliberate about it. He said he wanted to release his powers. For someone that is not educated, he delivered on point. And now this is where the laws of nature come in, the law of the universe, right? Every time you sing this song, you're telling yourself, I want to release these things. Mind you, it is your world. It will affect your world. You're telling yourself, I want to release my powers. And you sing cataclysm, pandemonium, epidemic, whatever. And then repeatedly, don't forget, music has this hypnotic power. So you find yourself, repeating this song over and over again to the point it boils into your subconscious. And a few weeks from now, things start happening to you and you'll be like, God, why me? You have called them into being. Do not forget, you have called them into being. And now you've spoken the words, it has gone, it has reacted, and you don't gather a neighbor, in cousins, and everybody. Now it's coming back to you well prepared for you because you called it. First, this song shouldn't even be sung on the media because children will listen to this, right? And then what are you boosting? You're boosting crisis, right? First of all, this song should not be aired at all because this guy is saying every negativity there is. And then you dance to it and you think it's a joke. And then it's a club banger. And then all the media houses are promoting it. And then you're dancing to it. And then you're wondering why things are the way they are. Please, look through these words and understand that this guy know the joke. In Daboski, know the joke. I wish I knew what those things mean, but I'm sure they don't mean well as well. All right? So guys, be very careful. Stop reciting this because when you keep singing this song, it becomes a mantra. And you know mantra how it works, right? All right, so I thought I should clear the air. If you have this song, and well, I don't know, but use your tongue to count your teeth. Do you really want cataclysm, pandemonium, epidemic, crisis, and a whole catastrophe? Do you really want these in your life? Especially when you're living in this country called Nigeria. We're already in crisis, whether you like it or not. And then someone is singing this to you, and then you're buying it and you're reciting it. It becomes your mantra, and trust me, nothing good comes out of a cataclysmic occurrence. Nothing good comes out of catastrophe from the name. Nothing good comes out of a pandemic. You know, um, COVID taught us that, right? We all knew of it. Nothing good comes out of a pandemic. Remember Ebola, right? These are all plagues. Someone is saying this is his power. Now the question is, what entity does this guy represent? I'll leave that to you to answer.